Well, chocolatiers. Got a little bit busy this weekend, so I wasn't able to make my review, but I've watched Transformers 1. Now, Transformers 1, new little animated Transformers film coming from Paramount. Basically, it's, just kind of like run-of-the-mill as far as trailers go, and I was, not excited for this movie in, the slightest bit. All the trailers are just kind of goofy. The comedy, some of it was landing, the scene in the trailer where, Optimus, flips off the one dude, and, the Bumblebee stuff and stuff like that. But it was still just looking like one of those run-of-the-mill, movies that you kind of just forget in a couple years, right? But I can tell you right now, Transformers 1 is now in my top 10 as far as my favorite films of 2024. They fucking did it. They fucking cooked. They cooked, boys. Let's get right into it. In the film, their characters are miners, mining for their sustenance and kind of what they live on. I always forget what the name of it's called. But their leader of their planet is Sentinel Prime. If you remember him from Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon, what a film that was with Michael Bay. If you remember that movie, that's Sentinel Prime, the bad guy of that movie. And so Sentinel Prime is kind of like their leader and stuff like that. All the Primes have been killed off, and it's crazy and all this shit. And so he's the last one out there. And so he's looking for the Matrix of Leadership, because if he finds that, then everybody will be healed and happy and whatever and this and that. And you want to have miners, you want to have this and that. And I kind of really hate that I cannot talk more about this film. I'm actually debating having this film be my first spoiler review. I'm going to see if, depending on how this video does, if I need to make one. Because this movie's so hard to talk about without talking about twists and turns and stuff. And so, like I said, I'm going to keep this review brief. It's gonna be just kind of run of the mill. I'm gonna give you my score, whatever, stuff like that. But this film, in the middle of it, because it starts off really good. I was actually laughing. The jokes are landing. Chris Hemsworth's doing a good job as Optimus. Yeah, it's not the same voice, but as a younger version, I'm buying it. Brian Tyree Henry, though, steals the show for me. D16, aka Megatron. Oh my god. This is one of my favorite adaptations of Megatron. Just not even story-wise, but just the way Brian Tyree goes down this path, that you eventually know what it's leading to. It's no different than watching episode 3 of Star Wars. You know where Anakin's going. You know what's going to happen. But the way they play it, the way they have their bond with Orion Pax and D16, eventually, like I said, that they're going to go down the Megatron Optimus route, but it's just, at some points in the film, you kind of almost forget, and you're like, oh, they're like brothers. It's what's going to happen? What's going to make them flip this script, right? And this film just does such a great job interpreting, what you want from Transformers. There's no human characters. There's no shitty subplots. This film is just a wild ride from beginning to end. And the best way I could describe it is kind of like Spider-Verse, the first Spider-Verse film. If you've seen that, if you haven't, check that shit out. As everybody probably tells you, it's a great movie. But it just reminded me of that, where it's an animated film. When they were marketing it, you're like, oh, I'm excited for it. I like Miles, whatever. But and you kind of whatever. But then when it comes out, you hear all the reviews, you're kind of like, is this kind of like that critic shit where of course they love it. And then you sit down and watch, you're like, no, this shit's cooking. They are cooking with it. And that's kind of how I felt with this. I kept hearing 10 out of 10s, this and that. And I was like, I guess. We'll see. But, oh my god, animation's on point. The story, like I said, I kind of saw the twist coming, mainly because just knowing Transformers characters, okay, I know what they're going to do. But just the way they do it, and they do another twist kind of underneath it, where you're like, oh, okay, our main villain's doing some fucked up shit to these people, and I know exactly what, you're on their side, you're in for the ride. I love the interpretations of characters, even Bumblebee. I didn't know how I was going to feel about Key from Key and Peele playing Bumblebee. And at first, you know, it's kind of like Chris Hemsworth. You kind of got to get used to it. Where you're like, Bumblebee's cracking a lot of jokes this thing. But when you think about it, though, like, even like in Michael Bay, even in those movies, those movies are just on my mind all the time. But just in those movies, you know, even though he's not really talking and stuff, when he does, he's like always joking, like, "Hey, pissed on the guy." I was just kind of like sitting there thinking, I was like, "Yeah," so this is kind of like matching those same vibes. And that's what I realized. Michael Bay produced this. I said, "Oh wow, who would have known that him just putting a little bit of money and letting somebody else do it would have made you a fucking 10 out of 10 Transformers movie?" And that's not me hating on those. I actually think his original trilogy for Transformers is not bad. It's just that we've been wanting the Cybertron shit, like the old games. Like, dude, we've been wanting that Cybertron shit where it's just the Transformers, it's just them going on a journey, doing their thing. Fuck the human stuff. And even if this franchise led into human stuff, I think this is still a better way to do it, because you're giving us all this heart and soul with the robots. You know, this movie has 2 credit scenes, has a mid and the end credit. And even like the whole time, I'm just like edging my seat, like, bro, what's this credit gonna be? Like, I was like MCU days where I was like excited for the end credit scene and not going, "Oh, we could fucking leave, I don't care." You know, and I don't know, I'm just so in awe of this movie, guys. Like, go watch this shit. You know, it might not be your cup of tea animation-wise, but story-wise, they're hitting. Character-wise, dialogue, script is on point, guys. I definitely think that in a year where no other animated films came out, I think this is definitely the best one, but this is going to go up against stuff like Inside Out. Personally, I did like this more than Inside Out 2, but this upcoming weekend I'm watching Wild Robot, which is my most anticipated film of September, and if that's killing it like I heard it is, I could see myself maybe liking it slightly more than Transformers. But in a year, if no other animated films came out, or if there was 1 or 2 just okay, this easily clears. I feel like it would get all the Oscars. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know what they're going to try to go for, but just Brian Tyree, and I said it earlier before, but just how he does his Megatron. Like I said, can't really spoil it, can't really say nothing. But whenever you guys see that, if you're a Megatron fan like me, you're going to be like, "Oh, fuck, that's cool." It is cool. It's awesome. Go watch this film. That's all I have to say about it. I think that this movie is going to get a 10 out of 10 from me. Masterpiece seal of approval. Movies have been killing it lately. September has been killing it. We've been getting some good ass movies. Please like, subscribe for more, because I will be having a Never Let Go review coming up. It should be the next video, actually, right after this that I'm going to record. And with that, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you rank the Transformers movies, including Michael Bay, the original animated film, and then this one, stuff like that. Even include TV shows. Let me know also who your favorite Transformer is. I would really like to know that. I would say I'm going old school, going biased. I would say probably Megatron and then Optimus. And if I had to do 3, we're doing Bumblebee or RC. Maybe Ironhide and them like number 4. I like my OG ones. You know, those are my boys. I fuck with Starscream now, I ain't gonna lie. He probably number 5, number 6. But yeah, let me know, guys. Please like and subscribe for more. Thank you guys for 200 subs once again, like I said last week, and I will catch you guys on the next one.
But before we were enemies.
I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn.